I've been here. I was the first one here.
I know. We saw you. We've been trying to join you. Well, just, congratulations on the win. The first half, you still had an 8-point lead, but there were some things certainly you wanted to clean up, and it looked like in the second half you really got it going and imposed your will, didn't you?
I thought defensively this was our best game we played. I thought we played well both halves. You take away their offensive rebounds. They had 10 second chance points in the first half. But by and large, I thought we played pretty well. And Colorado's a better team. I think this is the best team JR's had. They play really hard. And it was they pushed us. They tested us. But I thought in that second half we answered the challenge and played much better. That's 2 halves in a row, 2 second halves in a row where we excelled.
Nyara Sabally, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and some other numbers as well, and steals, and a couple of assists, a couple of blocks. She's like we talked in the pregame, she's getting more comfortable, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, she's now played almost a little over 50 minutes in 2.5 years. And yes, playing well. I thought she was a factor at both ends of the floor. Such a great rebounder, and and her second jump, her ability to, sometimes get her own miss and go right back up is pretty impressive. Yeah, I thought it was great to see her have that kind of game.
And one last, Te-Hina Paopao. A few more minutes, and it's still, as we talked about, she's going to fill up the stat sheet, and she did it again tonight, and maybe showed a little more of her scoring ability.
Yeah, she certainly can score. Got some boards as well. Good job. A couple of turnovers she'd probably like to have back, but I thought she had a good floor game tonight. She was going against one of the better guards in the conference in Sherrod, and I thought she did very well for herself. And I thought our offense ran very smoothly when she was on the court, which is ultimately going to be her job. We're going to surround her with enough weapons to where she doesn't have to score those kind of numbers, but when she does, that makes us doubly hard to guard.
All right, Coach, I'll let the rest of the media have at you here, and they'll be nice, I'm sure. And thanks so much. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you on Sunday.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Terry. Our first question will be Ryan Thorburn, register guard.
Kelly, when you start Nyara opposite Prince, obviously the defense has to pay attention to Sedona quite a bit. Just how encouraged are you by that combination and what they can do together?
Well, I think you saw it. I don't think Sedona had a great game tonight by any stretch, but it becomes a little bit more difficult to match up with us when we go big. So this was set before the game. I mean, we were going to kind of rotate the starting lineup early in the season, but I like what I saw tonight. That was a pretty good start for us. And yeah, when you have those two, we might need to look at going a little bit more high-low when they're in together.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Coach, Sedona looks like she rolled her ankle there, came back, tried to play. Status on her, is she going to be okay going forward? Do you expect her there on Sunday?
I hope so. I don't know. I know she's with our trainer now, so we'll see, Eric. We try to limit her minutes best we can early in the year until she really builds up strength in those legs. But I was told that she was fine, and so I wanted to get her just a little bit more time, so maybe she'd have a better taste in her mouth toward the end of the game. And I don't know, she didn't block somebody out, so I had to pull her out.
Julian Minson, KEZI.
Coach, the second home game, at least in this new season without fans. I mean, have you had any conversations with your team about kind of creating their own energy on the sidelines, or, and specifically these conference games where they're going to have to really dig deep in crunch time and stuff?
Well, we have, and I think they've done a really good job of that. I like how they're really cheering for each other, and they're into the game. They all know that they're going to play, and so I think they're really engaged. I just feel bad for them because this is such a home court advantage. This is not like this in most places in the country. And, it's pretty special to play in front of 11 and 12,000 fans at the fever pitch that we get fans. Our fans are active and engaged here. I just feel bad for them that they don't get to see what it's really like. But I like the energy that they're playing with and supporting each other with.
Andrew Hobner, you're up next.
Kelly, obviously, for what you're doing early season, you get to kind of fiddle and tinker with your lineup a little bit. When, usually when you get deeper into the season, that lineup shrinks. How tough is that right now when you're pretty much 12 deep and it seems like you're getting good energy from players 7 through 12 too?
Yeah, we are. And, in a crazy year like this, Andrew, we're going to need everybody at some point. I'd like to think and believe that we can go through this whole thing with, nobody ever having to sit out for virus reasons. I think our players, by the way, I commend them. I think they've done a wonderful job of taking it seriously. We still mask up in practice. We have now monitors that allow us to see how little time, quite frankly, we were within 6 feet of each other. But at some point, that depth will be tested, Andrew, and we're going to need everybody, guaranteed, everybody. So I'm glad this is the one year that I'm really glad we have a ton of depth.
Ashley Young, NBC Sports Northwest.
Coach, kind of going off of that, in game 1, Taylor Mikesell had the hot hand. Game 2 was Aaron Bowling. Tonight was Niara. How comfortable is it for you knowing that on any given night, it can your offensive production can kind of come from anybody?
Well, that's a great plus for a coach to have. And we've been blessed with that kind of team makeup over the last several years. It doesn't appear that it's going to change. Teams, Colorado did a great job tonight of not giving Mikesell a look, but then Pau Pau had, open looks tonight. And she's certainly capable. And Aaron Boley had more looks tonight. She's certainly capable. So at some point, and we're an unselfish enough team to find the hot hand, to feed the player that's feeling it on any given night. And I think all that will end up ultimately helping our inside people. So if you're just hugging Mikesell everywhere she goes, then guess who that's going to leave open in the middle? Niara Sabally. She gets 20 points tonight. Now, the next team might say, hey, we got to take away the inside and make these guys prove it from the perimeter, and then you might see a different result. So I think that's how we're going to play most of the year. It could be different on any given night. That's a good question, Ashley.
Back to Eric Skopel.
But you must be giving a heck of a halftime speech based on the last 2 starts of the third quarters. What have you been saying in there, and just kind of how nice is it to see them adapt in the second half there, especially in those third quarters?
Well, contrary to you, that ogre that you sometimes see on the bench, usually my halftimes are very thoughtful. And one of the things that I have them do is write on the board 3 things that they see. So before we go in there at about 10 minutes left in the half, we've wanted them to already discuss. And they're usually right on in the 3 things that we did, that we could do better. So, no, we just try to make adjustments in the second. I think at halftime tonight, we talked about running a few easier sets, just some zipper action and trying to get it inside. And then we tried to run a couple of sets to free our 3-point shooters up just to kind of get them in the flow. But I've loved how we've played the second half in both of these last 2 games. Just love it. We're playing with poise and executing well.
Jerry Thompson, Ducks Illustrated.
Congratulations, Coach. One of the bread and butters last 3 years is the pick and roll. How is that evolving? Who do you see that happening with?
Yeah, we're not there yet. That takes a little bit of time to develop that synergy. 3 games in, I see it from time to time in practice, and I like how a few of our players are developing that synergy, some of our guards with our posts. So it'll come. It's going to be a work in progress, you guys. We're 3 games in, so we're going to continue to get better. That's our goal each and every day.
Right.
Thank you, Jerry.
Warren Williamson, Oregon Ducks Football News.
Kelly, speaking of 3 games in, You guys really have a young team, and you're still learning about those young players, what they can give you both offensively and defensively. What are some of the things that you're now learning about those younger players and what they're giving you?
That a couple of them give us something special each game. You know, in the Portland game, Angela Duglich made a couple of plays that not many people can make. A baseline drive with a beautiful bounce pass to the drift player in the corner. Not many 6'4" players can do that. She's, I thought, got better defensively tonight. She was a gas can on a fire the other night, and we focused on it. We talked about it, and she was really good tonight on defense. I'm really proud of her. Kylie Watson, I think, is showing that, she's drawn 4 fouls in the last 2 games. That's value. You're bringing value to the team when you can do that. So tonight, Hollingshed, their best player and an all-conference player, gets 3 fouls in the first half. That's what we're going to be able to do with people. We're going to test people's inside depth, and most people can't roll out 4 and 5 centers or power forwards like we can. So learning. I think Sydney Parrish has had a nice 3 games so far, just solid, makes some things happen. Hasn't shot it well yet, but she will. And I think Maddie Shear is making an impact defensively, got some tips the other night, some steals, and tonight the same thing. And then you already documented Pow Pow. So they're all kind of doing something. And I think at some point that those roles are going to be even more defined. And I love the trajectory so far. I think we've improved in every game, and I hope that continues.
Got time for one more. Andrew Hobner, KZI.
On the broadcast, they had shown you guys setting up mats in the practice gym and pulling out the Nerf guns for the kids. I know that you had talked a lot about coming into this season about ways to build chemistry off the floor, off what you guys were able to do in the practice gym. How are you as a staff finding ways to kind of build off-court ways for them to have fun with each other?
We've got to continue to do those kind of things because right now they're in their own bubble, to be honest with you. Now students are gone. They never really hung out with other students anyway. We're not allowed to even have a meal together. So we've got to find things that we can do in practice, okay? And that was after practice that we did that, still masked up. And I just think that's important. They've got to be kids as well, This is not the pros. And so we're going to continue to do fun things like that. You notice the one person that wasn't shooting anybody was me because I'm too damn big of a target. Easy to hit. So, but it was fun. And like I said, we're going to continue to do things like that. You may have seen their TikTok video this week. This is a group that I think really loves each other and has fun with each other. And I think that's going to do well for us in the long run.